This week, Jonny chats to Compulsion Games about ID at Xbox darling We Happy Few, which had one of the most shocking onstage moments of this year's E3. We step onto the ice at EA Play to see what's going on with EA Sports NHL 17, and we find out just how much has changed in Worms W.M.D and how much has stayed just the way you remember it. This is Player Attack. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this week there's still more Pokemon Go all over the news. This week's highlights include a resourceful zookeeper making the animal exhibits a little more interesting to the smartphone generation by popping Pokemon stats on the cages. We particularly liked the double-wattled cassowary, which a zookeeper Anna correctly labelled as a dragon type with a very dangerous Ultra Kick. Niantic, the Pokemon Company, and Nintendo also stepped up to the stage at San Diego Comic-Con, where it was revealed that yes, trading is in the works. Yes, more Pokemon are expected within the next few months, and in a surprise announcement, Pokestop customization is on the way. The studio also revealed something we've been curious about for weeks now, the full images of the three team leaders, Candela, Blanche, and Spark, who have been mere silhouettes since the game's launch. Pokemon Go is finally available in Japan now as well, which brought an inevitable surge to the game's popularity, but in the US at least, users and downloads have peaked. Within less than a week of launch, Pokemon Go had more active users than Twitter, had been downloaded more times than any other app in the App Store's history, and was labelled the biggest mobile game in US history, with more than 21 million daily users logging in to catch them all. But it seems that's all changed. Usage of the game peaked just a week after launch on July 14, and despite all the media hype and word of mouth, downloads actually hit their highest point on July 7, the day the game launched in the US. And while we're all wrapped up in this retro gaming nostalgia, there are not one but two Sonic the Hedgehog games on the way. Project Sonic is in the same sort of vein as the recent 3D games and comes from the team behind Sonic Generations. The one you're likely to be more interested in, however, is Sonic Mania. It's a glorious return to 2D form in honour of Sonic's 25th anniversary. Expect old-school gameplay with a few new moves thrown in, plus reimagined stages from early Sonic games. And, of course, you can play as three classic characters, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Moving on to something much more recent, if you're yet to try out the Game of the Year experience that is Life is Strange, you should probably get onto that one pronto. Developer Don't Nod and publisher Square Enix have teamed up to give you a bit of a taste. They've released the first episode of the game on all platforms, absolutely free. That is PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Mac and Windows PC, and you won't have to pay a cent. If you're curious about the time-shifting adventures of Max Caulfield and her best friend Chloe Price, now's as good a time as any to check them out. This week also saw the rumours and inevitable reveals of two console jumpers. Firstly, we all knew that Rise of the Tomb Raider was heading to PS4, and now we know when. Get ready for some more Lara Croft on October 11, with Crystal Dynamics promising this is more than just a repackaged re-release. As well as the game, you will also get all previously released DLC, bonus outfits for Lara, a new online co-op endurance mode, and a new extreme survivor mode, which removes checkpoints and puts serious emphasis on gathering resources. Oh, and there's some bonus PlayStation VR content thrown in as well. The Dead Rising series is also eyeing off a PlayStation release, with Dead Rising, Dead Rising 2, and Off the Record all set for a remastered relaunch for both Xbox One and PlayStation 4 from September 13. While Dead Rising 4 is a timed Xbox One console exclusive, much like Rise of the Tomb Raider, Dead Rising 3 is an Xbox One PC exclusive, so it's unlikely to pop up anywhere else anytime soon. In tragic news, pro skier Matilda Rappaport has died while filming for Ubisoft's upcoming extreme sports game, Steep. The 30-year-old athlete was skiing in the Andes Mountains near Chile's capital, Santiago, when she was caught in an avalanche. Rappaport was filming a promotional video for the game, which was revealed at E3 earlier this year. Ubisoft and sponsor Red Bull has published a statement sending condolences to Rappaport's husband and family, and the game is still anticipated for release later this year. In movie news now, it should surprise absolutely nobody to learn that Legendary Entertainment is working on the world's first live-action Pokemon movie, with Detective Pikachu set to enter production in 2017. There is absolutely no information about the film available just yet, but don't let that stop the hype from building. Similarly, Rod Ferguson from the Coalition has hinted that Gears of War might be getting a film adaptation, saying that there's some stuff going on that I can't talk about today, when he was asked about a cinematic release. If this all sounds a bit familiar, it should. New Line Cinema purchased the rights to the game franchise back in 2007, and we were told about a potential revival in 2012 before the project sank into development hell once again. Gears of War 4 launches on October 7 for Xbox One and Windows 10. And while we normally end on that note, there is something else worth mentioning. Remember when we chatted to the Adelaide Auguries, a real-life Quidditch team, and they told us about some upcoming international events? Well, the Australian team, the mighty Drop Bears, have won gold at the 2016 IQA Quidditch World Cup, taking out the USA 150 to 130 and serving the Americans with their first ever loss. As well as defeating the team that knocked them out of the 2014 final, the Drop Bears also won against Germany, France and Canada, winning the Golden Snitch in all 4 finals matches. Congratulations, Drop Bears! For more information on any of these stories or to keep up to date with the latest gaming news, head to playerattack.com. But for now, stick around, we've got plenty more still to come.